Morning, class. Are you here today for Art 101? Everybody in the right room? Okay, that's great. Can I see hands? How many are completely new to art, never taken any art classes before? Okay, about half of you. Well, that's fine. This really is an introductory class, and you don't have to worry about your artistic abilities, really, because it's a pass-fail class. So as long as you put in an effort, there's no end. Show up for class, of course. There's no reason you should not be able to pass the class. So I just want to take attendance first. Okay. Sam. And Francine. Okay. Margaret. Thomas. Where's Tom? No Tom. Okay. Suzanne's here. Philip. And Pablo is here. Martina's here. Would you like to become Marty? Okay. Marty. And Cassandra. Roberto. Okay, Roberto. Alright. Okay, so we have everybody but Thomas. That's great. Okay, well, you should have received in your email the supply list for class. Did you all get that? Okay, that's good. I'm going to start by going over the basic supplies for the class. We do use a variety of media in this class, and I know that art supplies can be expensive, so I will always have a lot of supplies here in class too. So if you're not able to get all the supplies, or you forget to bring them one day, I will have some here as well, so you don't have to worry. Is there any questions so far? We do have lockers available. If you see the administrative office, they can issue you a locker, and you just bring your own key lock. And yes, you're welcome to keep your supplies in there if you don't want to bring them back and forth from home every day. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing you will need is paper, and there are lots of kinds on the market. We will be using drawing paper, as well as watercolor papers, and sometimes tracing paper or vellum. The most basic is a heavyweight drawing paper, and you can get the spiral bound, or usually they come in a pad, which is fine. I just like the spiral bound. So I have some. I'm going to go to a blank page here. So what I first of all some of the different media we'll be using. Okay. So we're going to start off with, first of all, just some basic. It's always good to bring a selection of pencils. This is just, of course, your standard writing pencil, but we also use charcoal pencils, which are really nice for drawing. You can do a little more smudging and shading with the charcoal. And it's good to have a variety of pens on hand, markers, felt pens, black pens, blue pens. You never know when you're going to need that. The pink pearl eraser is good for normal pencils, but there's also an art gum eraser, which I don't have one here today, but it's in the studio next door. They're really good for a lot of other media, besides just the lead pencils, but it's good to have these two. So I'm going to first start with watercolor pencils. These are a little bit more expensive than standard colored pencils, but they are really nice because you can get a variety of effects. So this particular case is 24 colors. You can buy ones with just 12 or 16. And if you really want to go to town, you can get one with 32 or 64. But this is a good place to start. I don't have any. And they do come pre-sharpened. As you can see, it's a really nice variety of colors. And if you've never heard of watercolor pencils before, what is so special about them is you can make a normal drawing. Let's just do a little red circle, a little shading. I don't know what this is going to be. And a little bit of orange shading. Maybe that's the setting sun, I don't know. Make a little bit of blue sky. We'll pretend that's the sun really low on the horizon. There's the blue sky. And the water's kind of a dark greenish blue. Not the best look, but so once you've done your drawing, you take a little bit container of water. I like to use these that you get with salsas from the restaurant. They make a nice seal, they're lightweight and cheap. And then you take a brush. I like the kinds that taper like this. You'll see on your list that I listed several different types, but really any kind of watercolor brushes will work. So you dip your brush in some water, not too much, and this is where using watercolor paper really helps, because even though this is heavyweight paper will still pucker a little bit if you use too much. Then you go over your colored pencils with water, and it basically dissolves the pigment, and it becomes to look like a watercolor painting. It's red, oops, and get that fading a bit into orange, and then I've got this green down below. So you can play around with it, but it's very versatile. So you get an effect that looks like a watercolor rather than I put a little too much water, I think, rather than colored pencil drawing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So then you just rinse out your brush. And this is an open tube, open on both ends, so you can actually put your brush away even though it's wet, because it will still dry out nicely. You don't have to worry about it. Put these away. So that is the watercolor pencils that we'll be using. And the next thing on your list is the standard colored pencils. And once again, there are many, many brands, from inexpensive to very expensive. So I recommend for this class a medium grade. This brand is called Spectracolor, and this is a very nice assortment of 24 colors. And one thing I like about this is the case actually becomes a stand. I'll show you. So I can open it. Okay. So you flip that all the way around, and then stand it like that. So that's pretty cool. It's much, and then there's a little lip on the bottom that keeps them in place. And again, these come pre-sharpened. You can see there's a really nice assortment. I don't know if you can all see this. They're quite heavy on the reds, oranges, and yellows, and the browns and taupe. A little bit lighter on the greens and blues. So there are different assortments, kind of based on what type of drawings you like to do. But this is a good sort of general assortment to start with. Okay. But again, you may already have some at home, or find certain ones on sale. Oops. You could go to Michael's or Joann's, as well as some of the local art supply stores, so it would be a little bit more expensive there. So, that is them. Okay, and we're also be using markers. is a favorite set of mine. It's Pentel color pens. This set includes 35 colors as well as 5 specialty highlighter pens. So this opens like a book. You can see this beautiful array of colors, and this is kind of a cool feature. It's a simple things, but it has this little plastic divider, so when you put your pens away, just snap that in place, and it prevents your pens from falling out all over the place every time you open the case. So it's nice to hold on to that. So these kind of your all-purpose markers, they're a medium fine point, as you can see. And all the Pentel products are numbered, so if you're buying different kind of markers, colored pencils, even papers, anything else, you can coordinate with their color numbering system, which is nice. So this, I'll just show you. Has a medium point, fairly even color, does not run, doesn't blot, it goes on smooth. I really like that. So now I have to finish this because alright. So that gives you an idea of the pens, and after all the besides all the major colors, has a variety of blacks and grays, and then at the end are these special fluorescent markers. There are 5 of these. Let's say pink, yellow, green, blue, and then this orange. And they, let's see, they actually have a chisel point, which are makes them a lot more versatile because you can use it on the pointy end. I don't know if you could see that, but if you wanted to fine point, you can use that. And you can use the broad to fill in, which is really nice. Alright, it's fun just to color sometimes, not make anything special. Now I feel like I'm making a beach towel or something. Alright, I'm gonna finish. So you can see that they're really nice for filling in, and you can do, with the chisel point, you can do calligraphy as well, depending on the way you turn the pen. Can't really see that too well, but I have to wait. Alright. Let me put this back. I always recommend you your supplies. Oops. So put your supplies away because it's easy to skip it. But if you skip doing that, before you know it, every single art supply you have will be strewn all around your table, and you'll make a big mess, and you won't want to do any artwork. So, I speak from experience. So on the back here, they list all their colors by number, which is just a handy little chart. As I said, this set has 35, which is maybe more than you need to start off. You might be able to get a 16 or 24 set, depending on your budget. So, the other media that we'll be using are oil pastels. Now they're quite a bit different than the pencils and markers. It's more like using crayons, really. This is a small set. They tend to be expensive, so you can get away with a little set of 12 like this, or even a set of 8. Has anybody ever used oil pastels before? Suzanne, you have. They are really nice and smooth, and they're fun to color with. It's kind of like being 8 years old again. So this brand is Cray-Pass Expressionist, and this set has pretty basic colors, primary colors, and some extras. But they come in a flat tip like that, so you can draw in different ways. On the flat side, on the edge if you want to make a line. Yes. And they're, again, it's kind of like crayon. You can smudge them if you want. I recommend using a tissue instead of your fingers. It's a little bit cleaner. But if you enjoy oil painting, you can get some similar effects with pastel oils. They're also the more common type of pastels are the chalk, and you can buy some of those if you like as well. There's a different effect, but whichever you prefer, or you can try both. I will have some chalk pastels in the room as well. You can see, I'll show you some of the techniques in the back. This is coloring with some really vibrant colors. This is blending. So again, like the oil paints, you can get a really nice blended effect. And this is the scratch technique. So when you put the pastels down really heavily on the paper, and then you can use different tools to scrape sections away. So we will actually be trying all these different techniques in the class. Okay. So, besides the media, there are also some tools that it's handy to have. Just real basics if you can go down your list. Of course, pencil sharpener. I like this German Staedtler brand. Those are only about $2.50. All your fillings go there, easy to empty out. Then screws back on. Usually. Not behaving today. Alright. But it's small, it's light. You can throw it in your bag and in your never without a pencil sharpener. And this particular brand just gives a very nice point. Quick, easy, quiet. So I recommend these a lot. And it's nice to have a drawing compass. This one is an expensive one. You can get a fancy one if you like. This one's also pretty small. It's nice to have a couple of different sizes if you like to work big. But for the paper we'll be using, this one is fine. So you probably remember from school, very simple way to make a perfect circle. And if you want to make concentric circles, you just put it in the same hole with a pencil, different diameter, about that point, and there you go. You can make a bullseye. So, an expensive compass worked just fine with class. This one was made in Italy. Pentopco Deluxe Drawing Compass Precision. I also recommend having some things just to help you with straight lines. Just a standard triangle with a nice heavy acrylic. It's good for you need to do a 90-degree angle or just anytime you want to dash off a quick straight line. It's perfect. And of course, totally see-through, so you can line things up underneath. Some of them come with metric and inch marks, which help if you need to measure things off. This one's just plain. And additionally, it's helpful to have some of these in different sizes. Again, this is really great if you want to make a particular size angle. You can get these protractors in any art store or sometimes even hardware stores or what was I going to say? Oh, stationery stores will sometimes have these too. Though they usually will give you inches as well as metric. And again, you can measure off the center point. They actually have a hole in it there. If you need to go a particular, let's say 60 degrees, so you measure that, and then the 90 degrees. Then you could use your triangle, or you could just use any ruler to make angle. One more little thing that is really handy is this circle template. And again, art stores, or craft supply stores, stationery stores often will have these too. And this one, let's see. This one's called Handyman. It's made in the USA. And it goes all the way from 1/16 of an inch, or 1.59 millimeters, all the way up to half an inch, or 12.7 millimeters. And you can, of course, get these in larger, going up to larger sizes. But as long as you have a protractor, usually your larger size circles, you'll be able to use this just fine. This doesn't work as well with the really small circles, which is why it's nice to have one of these. So you can just put in your, wherever you need to make a circle, use it like a template like that. Do some pins. And we're just messing around right now, but you get the idea. These are really inexpensive, maybe 79 cents or something like that. Really handy to throw in your art bag. Alright, well that's pretty much it for the supply list. There are a few other things that I didn't show you that are on your list, but they're pretty straightforward, like the charcoal pencils, the art gum eraser. So, did any of you bring any supplies for today? No? Alright, well, what we could do, I do have some paper over in the studio, and all of the supplies that you saw here today, as well as some extras. And we can get started. Just kind of, I think for today, we'll just have you play around with the different media. I've got different things in the studio for inspiration, like still lifes, or we have some floral displays if you like doing floral drawings, and also magazines. A nice way to practice sketching if you like landscapes or architectural drawing. I often will just look at a magazine, find a picture that I like, and then just try to do a freehand drawing of the picture. So let's all head over to the studio and we can start to have some fun. Okay? Alright. Let's take a break first, and then I'll meet you over there in about 10 minutes. Okay, see you soon.